My name is Sandra Ejang, and I'm the CEO of Western Silk Road Limited. We have 4 brands: Asali Wamoyo Honey, Sweetheart Honey, Aza Naturals, which is a honey-based cosmetics line, and Tony's Naturals, which was started by my daughter, and we process and package peanuts. My background is engineering, and for most female engineers in Uganda back in between 2010 and 2014, most female engineers would really get stuck doing desk jobs. The reason why a girl goes out of her way to become an engineer is to not get stuck at a desk. But the moment you have a baby, the harsh reality is it's easier, because then you have to figure out what's happening at home. If there's an emergency, you have to run. I realized I did not want to get stuck at a desk job. I already had 1 child, planning to have more. And the idea of beekeeping came up, and it came up in a way that they said your initial investment would be recovered within the first year. It was very exciting. So we go ahead, get our savings of 10 million shillings, we buy overpriced hives, we get some basic training, all knowing that we're going to recover our investment within the first year. And children are expensive, so we really also needed the extra income source. 1 year down the road, there are insects in the hives and there's no honey, and I had 2 options: give up or continue. So I go back to the drawing board, learn more, try to figure out what happened, which I did. So I go back for further training, because the training I'd done originally was very basic. I do the training and get to actually understand that there's no business that you just get and you sit back, relax, and you're going to get returns after 1 year. So I start taking care of my hives, I start monitoring, doing some maintenance, checks, and indeed 6 months down the line, we have honey. So we call the people that we bought the hives from, because they had promised ready market. Mark you, this is 1.5 years in, I have not made a single shilling. And they're offering the same amount of money they were offering 1.5 years ago. It's been 1.5 years. I've invested in like more transport costs, a lot of other costs, plus labor as well. So my expenses have like doubled over that period of time. And they were also not offering to come and help us harvest. And that is really how the business was born. We decided, nope, we deserved better prices, and we were the only ones who could give ourselves those better prices. So our first brand that was born with that was Asali Wamoyo, and I want to tell you, it was horrible. The honey leaked because we didn't know where to get the right packaging from. And then the honey got crystallized. We did not know what crystallization was. That took us back to the drawing board, because we were being accused of having put sugar in the honey. So we go back to the drawing board, learn about crystallization, and then we come back on the market. But this time, I had gotten into the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Thankfully, I got to a farm state, and I saw all the amazing things people were doing with 1-2 hives, and I had 10. I come back ready to take over the world, especially in terms of honey, also without money. So I organized the first honey testing event. I made my first 3 million shillings in 1 day. And here we really are. I used that money to open the first honey shop. And then that really informed most of my decisions in moving forward. If you have a honey shop, you cannot afford to run out of honey. My hives were only producing so much, so I started engaging the local community in my Kiriandongo area. So we engaged the first 5 people. And our promise was, we shall train you and we shall provide you with hives that you'll pay back for with a percentage of harvested honey. But remember, we also didn't have any money for these hives that we were promising. So we tried to look a bit further into people that already had hives, and that is how we really started. People had hives and they were struggling with market access. We turned our community home into a bulking center, and these farmers would deliver the honey to the home. Then we'd pick the honey, bring it to Kampala, and process, package, and sell. We grew from 5 smallholder farmers to now over 2,000. And we've expanded into different districts. We are in Moroto, we are in Amudat, we are in Lamo. We are in about 10 districts now. During the course of the 11 years, we've encountered a couple of challenges. And I guess the most profound not being taken seriously because I'm a woman and I grew up in the city. You go to train a new group, and the first question they're going to ask is, what makes you think you know more than us who have been in agriculture from the day we were born up till now? You think because you speak some English, you know better? It was difficult to handle that. I did not have a lot of experience working with the local communities. But that one, we're still working on it, because every community has their own narratives. Some are harder to get into, others are easier. Like I have said, my background is engineering, not business. Learning how to run a business is like a business in itself. So I've made mistakes. I have lost a lot of money. And because it's agriculture, I know there's still going to be more money lost. But we get better every day, because we learn from the mistakes, and the mistakes are not repeated. Over the years, we've really tried, and I'm proud to say that 85% of our beekeepers are now women. And we hope that we can even get a higher number. But yes, challenges are there, and we try. The TBN program helped me realize the gaps that I had in my finances. I knew I had gaps in my finances, a lot of gaps. I am not in denial anymore. But the thing that stood out that I have actually acted on, effective, I think this month, we're still in June. 25th of June, we hired more of a bookkeeper, not a full-time accountant. What we had done before, because the accountant was not delivering, was just for the last 1 year, we've actually not had a proper accountant. We're just using spreadsheets, and different spreadsheets for everything. It made sense, but it was not capturing a lot of the things that, let's say, a funder would ask for. For example, I have the sales records of all the sales I make every day. I have a cash book that I use to record cash in and cash out. I have an asset ledger. I have the list of every product that goes out, like a dispatch note and everything. But that's really all I have. So if you asked me, let's say, what my balance sheet looks like, I'm like, yeah, I know how much product I sold last month, and I'm very fast with the numbers because I'm trying to make you forget that, you asked for a balance sheet. So yeah, I actually had the software seated on my computer, but it just felt like too much work. That particular training session made me realize that, yes, maybe way before, I was trying to do some things right. I was still not doing them right. But I guess with growth comes difficult conversations. I know that I am looking for funding, but I cannot even approach a funder when I have nothing to show. That was the most impactful, and I'm actively still following up on it, because it is my intention for the financial year 2025-2026 to have perfect records. I think we figured out the beekeeping part of the dream, and I guess everybody knows how essential bees are for crop pollination and for general environment conservation. As a beekeeper, the thing that makes sense for me right now is to actually do integrated farming. That is where our dreams are going. A bit of crop cultivation, some forestry, animal husbandry, because the circularity makes sense. My bees are not going to thrive if I'm in a place that has chemicals being sprayed. However, if I have plants that speak to the bees, things like sunflower, maybe caliandra, then my bees would actually thrive. So I am circular, and that is my dream moving forward. Not just for me though, for all the communities I work with. What I would like to do is have my farm be a training ground for the farmers to see that this idea of integrating the farming actually works. If they see it working with me, they'll definitely want to replicate it.